Oh, how things fall apart. And that is how quickly things have gone south in Haiti this week, with the country declaring a 3 day state of emergency and a nighttime curfew after armed gangs stormed two prisons and released around 4,000 criminals. Now, we're talking about the likes of murderers and kidnappers. Jimmy Cherizer, I hope I'm pronouncing that well, who is a former elite police officer popularly known as Barbecue, who now runs these gangs, has claimed responsibility. Now, Barbecue has said his aim is to capture government ministers, Haiti's police chief, and prevent Haiti's current Prime Minister Ariel Henry from returning back to the country. Remember, Mr. Henry was in Kenya just last week, where he and President Ruto witnessed the signing of the agreement to deploy our officers. Although we still at this moment do not know the contents of that agreement. Now, just after he left Haiti for Kenya, the gang stormed the airports and basically said, stay where you are, don't even think of coming back. So why is it that this gang forces seem to not like this man at all? So after the assassination of the former Prime Minister Jovenel Moïse, Prime Minister Ariel Henry took over temporarily, but with no parliament with elected representatives, a disbanded electoral body. He dismissed the country's chief prosecutor and remains in power long after the expiry of his temporary mandate. So a lot of Haitians feel he's not a legitimate prime minister. Now, back to today's topic of what Kenya could possibly gain. Now, after the High Court quashed the deployment of Kenyan police officers, it stated that there would have to be a reciprocal agreement between the two countries, which means you get something, I get something. So one of the possible benefits that Kenya would get would be that our police officers would have to get some form of specialized training that would inadvertently improve the skills they already have. And you know, people would say about a land skill, that is the only thing that people cannot take away from you. So in the long run, even when these police officers come back home, they would still possess these skills. Two, it would make us look good internationally as a dependable ally who steps up and helps others in times of need, hence strengthening our diplomatic ties. Three would be money. Kenya would get funds for choosing to participate. And of course, as you know, that the US last year pledged $100 million to back the mission while declining to send their own soldiers to Haiti. Lastly, the officers deployed would possibly get extra allowances that could act as incentives to actually make them want to go. Now, all these benefits sound good, right? Let's look at how the past missions in Haiti have fared. Now, from 2004 to 2017, the UN's MINUSTA mission was marred by controversy, and this actually led to Haitians protesting and demanding the troops withdraw. Right? The controversies included scandals such as sexual abuse of women and girls and a cholera outbreak in 2010 that was caused by UN peacekeepers dumping infected sewage into a river. Now, this resulted, unfortunately, in more than 9,000 deaths and 800,000 people getting infected. Additionally, some UN soldiers were accused of fathering babies and abandoning them. Aside from Kenya, Jamaica, the Bahamas, Antigua, and Barbuda have pledged to send personnel to Haiti as well. So, with this knowledge of the benefits, a little bit about the current regime and the past missions, do you still think it's worth it to send our officers to Haiti? Let me know in the comments.